You know that bacteria everyone kind of blames for breakouts?
Yeah, the usual suspect.
Well, what if I told you it might actually have a secret power? Like helping our bodies fight something much, much more serious.
Uh, okay, that sounds intriguing. Go on.
Right. So today on the deep dive, we're looking into some really fascinating research. It connects Cutibacterium acnes, that skin bug, with, believe it or not, potentially suppressing melanoma cells.
Wow, okay. From acne to melanoma suppression, that's quite a leap.
Exactly. And to make it even more interesting, we're going to see how this actual science pops up in the Cütie Catcherz AR comic series.
Cütie Catcherz, right?
Yeah, and just so everyone's on the same page, we'll be saying cooties when we talk about the cuties in the comic. You know, like the playground thing.
And cooties, like the game. Makes sense for a comic metaphor.
Totally. So our mission today is basically to give you the lowdown on this unexpected link between microbes and storytelling. Hopefully arm you with some cool info about your own skin health, too.
And it's grounded in real research.
Well, yeah, we're basing this on a specific study from the Journal of Investigative Dermatology. The title is Melanoma Cell Survival is Suppressed by Splenocytes Stimulated by Cutibacterium acnes.
Right, the Journal of Investigative Dermatology, a solid source. It
Mhm.
really shows how our understanding of, well, everyday things like skin bacteria can just completely flip, you know?
It really can. The microscopic world is full of surprises.
Definitely.
So let's properly introduce Cutibacterium acnes. Many people hear that and probably just think pimples.
Right.
But what is it technically?
So C. acnes, as we call it, is a bacterium. It's a gram-positive bacillus, if you want the specifics, and it just lives on your skin. It's a totally normal part of your skin flora, the whole community of microbes there.
Normal resident, okay.
Yeah, think of it like one of many tiny tenants living on your skin surface. Most of the time, it's just there,
All right.
minding its own business, more or less.
More or less. But it is the resident link to trouble sometimes, yeah. The acne connection is pretty well known.
You're absolutely right. It definitely plays a big role in acne vulgaris. So yeah, for a lot of people, it's seen mainly as a nuisance, a problem to get rid of.
And that's where this story gets really interesting, this unexpected twist. This research suggests it might be, I don't know, more complex, like a character with a hidden depth, not just the bad guy.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. The study we're talking about, the one from Mie University in Japan, published in JID, gives us this completely different angle.
Okay, so what exactly were these researchers in Japan trying to figure out? What was the big question driving their experiments?
Well, their main goal was to see if certain immune cells, specifically splenocytes, which come from the spleen, a key immune organ, could fight melanoma cells better if they were first, let's say, activated or stimulated by C. acnes.
Okay.
They used heat-killed C. acnes for this. So the question was, can prepping immune cells with this common skin bacterium help them suppress malignant melanoma, at least in a lab setting?
So it's almost like introducing the immune cells to the bacteria first, like a training session, and then seeing if they become better cancer fighters.
That's pretty much it, yeah. A good analogy. In the actual experiment, they mixed melanoma cells with these splenocytes in a dish. One set of splenocytes was pre-treated or stimulated with the heat-killed C. acnes. The other set wasn't.
A control group, standard stuff.
Right. And they let them mingle for about 24 hours. Then they looked really closely to see what happened to the melanoma cells specifically, how many were dead or undergoing apoptosis, which is like programmed cell death.
And they measured other things too, right? You mentioned communication.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. They also measured cytokines. Think of cytokines as messenger molecules for the immune system. They tell other cells what to do, coordinate the response, so they checked if the stimulated splenocytes were sending out more of these signals.
Okay, so after this cellular showdown in the dish, what did they find? Were the trained cells doing a better job?
The results were pretty striking, actually. They found a significantly higher ratio of dead or dying melanoma cells in the group that was cultured with the C. acnes-stimulated splenocytes.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it really suggested that the immune cells primed by C. acnes were much more effective at eliminating the cancer cells. And yes, they also confirmed that these stimulated splenocytes were pumping out those important cytokines.
So it wasn't just random chance. The immune cells that met C. acnes first seemed to be actively targeting and killing the melanoma cells more effectively.
That's what the data strongly suggested. The researchers theorized that C. acnes might act as a potent enhancer of tumor immunity against melanoma.
An enhancer?
Huh.
How? What's the mechanism they suspect?
Well, it links back to something we know about C. acnes. It's a known inducer of what's called a Th1 immune response.
Th1. Okay, refresh my memory on that one.
So a Th1 response is a type of immune reaction that's really good at dealing with intracellular pathogens like viruses and also, importantly, cancer cells. It involves activating cells like cytotoxic T lymphocytes that directly kill target cells. It's generally the kind of robust cell-attacking response you want against tumors.
Got it. So C. acnes nudges the immune system towards that helpful Th1 pathway, which then helps fight the melanoma. That's a huge shift from just thinking about it as the acne bug.
It really is. And while scientists kind of knew C. acnes could trigger Th1 responses, this study was important because it provided that direct experimental link in the lab. It showed C. acne-stimulated immune cells actually suppressing cancer cell survival. It moved beyond just the general immune response knowledge.
It showed the effect in action, basically.
Exactly, a direct connection.
Okay, so we have this really cool, surprising science showing a potential upside to a bacterium we often, dislike. Let's switch gears now. How does this kind of complex idea translate into a story? Let's talk Cütie Catcherz, or cooties as we're calling them.
Right, the cooties. Well, this is where the storytelling in Cütie Catcherz gets really clever, I think. It uses the whole cooties concept as a metaphor for C. acnes.
A metaphor. Okay. How does the science inform that metaphor?
It does it by reflecting the duality we've just been talking about. The comic doesn't just paint all cooties as bad.
Ah, right. Because in the story, there are different types, aren't there? Not all of them need to be zapped immediately.
Precisely. The narrative includes what they call base cuties. These are sort of the harmless background ones alongside the more problematic types that cause trouble. This directly mirrors the science. We know that not all strains or types of C. acnes are necessarily harmful commensals. Some are just part of the normal skin balance.
Like the ones that might be stimulating that beneficial immune response.
Potentially, yes, or at least ones that don't cause disease. There's even a moment, I think, where the main character, Nimbus, specifically spares a base cutie. It's a moment of understanding, realizing they aren't all the enemy. That really echoes the nuance from the research.
That's a fantastic parallel. It takes the science and makes it relatable through character action. What about the immune response itself? How does that play out in the comic?
Well, the different reactions the characters have to the cooties, like sometimes it's a minor issue, maybe like the dormant drift they mention, versus a full-blown infected invasion that can be seen as a metaphor for the different kinds of immune responses C. acnes can trigger in us.
So like a mild reaction versus a big inflammation.
Sort of, yeah. The varying intensity in the story world reflects how our real immune system interacts with this bacterium in complex ways. Sometimes it might be a low-level interaction, maybe even that beneficial Th1 stimulation. Other times it might lead to the inflammation we see in acne. The comic captures that variability.
And I guess the mentors in the story, the ones teaching Nimbus and the others, their lessons probably align with this too. About not just fighting blindly.
Exactly. The emphasis in Cütie Catcherz on understanding the cooties, on finding balance rather than just eradication, that perfectly aligns with the message from the research. It's not about eliminating all bacteria, it's about understanding the ecosystem.
It's a core message, really,
Yeah.
that our skin isn't sterile and shouldn't be. Some bacteria belong there.
Precisely. And this research reinforces that idea powerfully. C. acnes becomes this prime example of why we can't just use a simple good versus evil label for skin bacteria.
Yeah, it really challenges that binary thinking. One bacterium potentially causing acne and helping fight cancer cells via the immune system. Depends on the context, the strain, the person's immune system.
Yeah.
Lots of factors.
It's all about the context, the whole ecosystem. Our skin microbiome is this incredibly complex community. Billions of microbes playing different roles, many beneficial, many we're still figuring out.
And that constant conversation between our immune system and this microbiome is key, right, for keeping skin healthy overall.
Absolutely vital. It's a continuous interaction, a dynamic balance, not just defense, but communication and regulation too.
And thinking about you listening, especially if you happen to have darker skin, where some conditions might present differently or be perceived differently. Understanding this complexity, that it's not just about bad bacteria, can be really empowering.
Definitely. It helps move away from potentially harmful misconceptions and towards more informed decisions about skincare and health. It encourages appreciating the balance of your own unique skin microbiome.
It's about managing the ecosystem, not waging war.
Well put.
Okay, so let's try and bring it all together. The key takeaway here seems to be that Cutibacterium acnes, the bug often linked to acne, has shown this really surprising potential in lab settings. It can stimulate an immune response, specifically that Th1 response, which in turn can help suppress melanoma cells.
Right. A potential protective role emerging from an unlikely source.
And this scientific complexity, this dual nature, is mirrored beautifully in the storytelling of Cütie Catcherz, where cooties aren't just villains, but part of a complex system needing understanding, not just elimination.
Yeah, the way the comic uses metaphor to translate that cutting-edge science into something engaging is, well, it's pretty remarkable. It really drives home that idea of coexistence with our microbial residents.
It really does. And it leaves you thinking, doesn't it, about all the other intricate relationships happening right now on your own skin, this vast community.
And how much more there is to learn.
Exactly. How our understanding is constantly shifting. Makes you wonder, what other things we currently think of as just bad might actually have hidden complexities, maybe even hidden benefits we haven't discovered yet.
It's a fascinating thought, the unexpected helpers in our biology.
Definitely something to mull over. Anyway, thanks for diving deep into this intersection of microbes, medicine, and metaphor with us today.
My pleasure. It's truly fascinating stuff.
You got the cooties, we got the cure, fighting breakouts with facts and a whole lot of lore. It's Cütie Catcherz, beneath the skin, where science and story are about to begin. Let's go! You got the cooties, we got the cure, fighting breakouts with facts and a whole lot of lore. It's Cütie Catcherz, beneath the skin, where science and story are about to begin. You got the cooties, we got the cure, fighting breakouts with facts and a whole lot of lore. It's Cütie Catcherz, beneath the skin, where science and story are about to begin. Let's go!
That's a wrap on this episode of Cootie Catcherz Beneath the Surface, where science meets art and technology, and skincare gets a superpower treatment. If you learned something, laughed a little bit, or just loved the blend of art, culture, and biology, make sure to follow the journey at cutiecatchers.com and stay up to date on Instagram at Cütie Catcherz. Catch every new episode on Spotify and YouTube. Just search Cootie Catcherz Beneath the Surface. And remember, the cooties are real, but so is your power to fight back with knowledge. This is produced by me, Stephen Christian, of Stuck on an Island, in collaboration with Iltopia.